No, my dear. Listen, let me talk. Let me give you one advice. Whatever you want to tell the Nigerian media, tell them everything. Give them names. Don't hold back. Because the government will still declare you wanted. Benny, Buhari is declaring everybody wanted. That is what you're rolling. I'll call you back. Give them names, so don't hold back. Before they arrest you, they will say interrogation. They will say they want to...
Rolling.
Oh, okay. I'll call you back. On today's show, we'll be talking about how the Nigerian government is censoring everybody, declaring them wanted because they said what? They said the truth on national television. Also, huge shout out to all the Paralympians that are making us proud. And you guys will get to meet the Kenyan Paralympian that everybody is talking about. Still in Nigeria, some bandits that were repentant came back and said they are no longer what? Repentant. They started doing what? Stealing again. Despite being on the government's payroll. In Cameroon, you guys will not believe that people are still lining up by the streets to welcome the president from a private trip to Europe. Also, crisis is still going on in Cameroon, in Niger, in Chad, as well as Nigeria. Thousands of people being displaced. In South Sudan, you guys will not believe, but the government shut down the internet. Also, more than 380,000 people have been affected by the heavy floodings in South Sudan. Also, a Nigerian man based in Canada is constructing a self-sufficient, off-grid, smart home estate in Lagos, Nigeria. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's Adeola Fayehun on all platforms. Once again, the timestamp is in the description. You can fast forward to any story that you would like to hear. And like we always say, why do you need to fast forward? You can just watch the entire thing. Roll the camera. It's your girl Adeola. You guys, please move closer. Do you see what we are seeing? We said it, all these so-called repentant bandits, all these repentant terrorists that the Nigerian government is giving food, giving clothes, and giving money. They are giving them stipends. Baba. We said it, we said, how do you know that they repented for real, for real? I'm so upset right now because of this story. Did you guys hear about the 3 repentant bandits in Katsina State? Father, I don't even know where to start. First of all, apparently, the Nigerian government offered them a job to work with the Katsina State government on security. I don't understand. How do you put a thief in charge of security? I don't understand. Regular people who studied hard, worked hard, did their NYSC, you did not give them jobs. They are on the streets looking for jobs. You gave jobs to repentant thieves, paying them 110,000 naira per month. That is the one that annoys me the most. What is the minimum wage again? 30,000 naira. Thank you so much. That is more than triple what a regular person with great qualification is collecting. That is more than triple the minimum wage. But the interesting thing is, while they were working with the government on security, getting paid 110,000 naira per month, they were still stealing from the people. They were still doing what? Their banditry.
Arrest of repentant bandits. They succeeded in robbing the said Alhaji Gide 20 cows valued 7,550,000.
So they stole cows worth more than 20 million naira. My father and my God. You see, Nigerian government, see your life. And we knew that criminals are hiding behind the so-called repentant banditry.
He came on his own and repented, working closely with the state government and security agencies. He was given a temporary appointment so that at least now that he has come out from the forest, but all to no avail.
Father. You see, I don't know what our problem is. You know, the problem right now is these are just 3 people. Right now, we have thousands of these so-called repentant bandits, you know? So how do we monitor all of them? Do we know how many of them have gone back to doing whatever they were doing that they said that they repented?
If government shows he get power to stop Igboho and stop Nnamdi Kanu, why government no get power to stop bandits when they say they kill us here?
Thank you, my father. In case you're watching, is the man lying?
Our current leaders waiting for Asarok for presidency. They get hand into it. We get problem for Nigeria, and as long as our people keep quiet, I tell you, say one day they say this unknown government will be Fulani bandits. They will come take over Villa.
Lie. He's not lying. He said nothing but the truth. And he's not the only one speaking up from the high places. All these big people are now speaking out.
How is it that you know where the bandits are and the security force don't know? He said the security forces know exactly where they are and where all their camps are. So is that not additional evidence that the ruling party is the sponsor of terrorism and insecurity in Nigeria. Buhari needs to leave. Buhari should have left office 5 years ago.
Thank you so much. That is the former presidential candidate, Martin Onova. Is he also lying? Of course not. My only worry right now is that the Buhari's government is now declaring everybody wanted, so long as they don't like what they say. I mean, we all saw the video of that ex-naval officer at Channels TV.
And I've interrogated a very high-ranking member of this government. And what was the issue? Boko Haram. And this senior officer was actually let go because he was found culpable. But right now he's in the government. This country is going down the precipice. We have been set back more than 60 years right now.
My father, in case you're watching, you have done well. You said it all. But why not mention the names of the people that you know? No. In case you're watching, let me look here. You should have known that they will want to interrogate you. They will want to declare you wanted. And just mention those names right then and there when you had the opportunity. My father, God forbid, if anything happens to you now, my father, how would we know those people? You should have just mentioned them, especially since you said that you are not afraid of anybody and that nobody is above Nigeria as a country.
Will your life be at risk now that they're hearing you?
I don't care. The issue is that this country is bigger than individual.
In any case, soon after his interview aired, they declared the man wanted though. Can you imagine? This is the Nigeria that we live in today. People started shouting on social media. And so they came back and said they only needed him for interrogation. They did not declare him wanted. We said, wow, it is becoming clearer every day that this Buhari's government is becoming a dictatorship. In fact, it is the worst that we've ever seen in Nigeria. Can you guys believe that even the journalists that interviewed the man were invited for interrogation by the DSS? I said, Jesus Christ is Lord. You interrogate me for interviewing someone? Hell no. And to the no. How did that even happen? Not only that, Channels TV also interviewed the governor of Benue, the one that we featured at the beginning of this video. Can you guys believe that the National Broadcasting Commission sent them a letter that they violated some codes and they should have vetted their guests before the interview? I said, hey, whoa, to make sure that their guests don't say things like that on television. I said, hey, what the heck is really happening in Nigeria? This is censorship, my people, censoring the media. Security has never been this bad in Nigeria. But what does Buhari do? He gives these people amnesty. He puts them on payroll. He's giving them stipend, giving them food, giving them clothes, and then he declares you wanted for speaking out about it, and he intimidates journalists for covering it. What kind of government is that? My people, I took a critical look at the peripheral level of this equation, and I came to the conclusion that we have entered one chance.
You can't intimidate Buhari. You can't bully him. A lot of these people who are calling for secessions, they're the problem of this country.
Oh, God.
And I'm happy that reasonable opinion is now being reasonable voices are now rising.
What is wrong with you? Do not let me look you in the eye. Why are you playing this thing? Shut up, not you. What is your problem, Gogo?
You can't intimidate Buhari.
Father, you don't mean it. Seriously. Okay, Esa, in case you're watching, you still have your job? That your job? So this job of spitting out nonsense. You never sat down to just make a tear, Rono, one time, just once in your life. Just Rono, think about what you are saying to the people. My father, we are not stupid though. The Nigerians that you are addressing, because you address us as if we are stupid. Benny, Alaji, in case you are watching, you see, I'm not abusing you. Who am I? I can never abuse you. But you talk to Nigerians as if we are stupid, as if we are little children. Our Mumu don't do.
Is that the way to treat a president of this country? Because the president does not speak, because he is a decent gentleman who does not order executions as we have had in the history of this country.
Can you imagine? No, let him order execution. Why have these people remained shameless and heartless? Benny, Ogagaba.
We are all in this together.
Get out, my friend, not you. Kaido, get out. Don't let me find you today. So finally, my people, Buhari has started firing his incompetent ministers. I mean, it took 6 months for him to come up with the name of the ministers, first of all, and they've all been incompetent. No exception. I'm sorry to say, every one of them, even the ones that you think are performing, they are underperforming. So no exception. He started firing them, including the Minister of Agriculture that diverted 30 million naira government money to building a mosque. Bene. So far, he has fired 2, and we are begging him to please fire all of them. Oga Buhari, in case you're watching, please fire all your ministers, and then don't forget to fire yourself when you are done, Otoni. Because when we talk about cluelessness and incompetence, you are number 1 on top of the list. So please do not forget to fire yourself. We are begging you. You guys not doing much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Kenya, ladies and gentlemen, the Tokyo Paralympic Games. Africans are making us proud, left and right. Thank you so much to all the African countries represented and to all the African countries that have won gold. You guys are making us proud. Oh, by the way, when will the Olympics come to Africa? My people, I cannot wait for us to host the Olympic. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. So far, Ethiopia has won 1 gold in the women's 1,500 meter race. Tunisia has won 3 gold in the women's shot put, the men's 100 meter race, as well as the women's discus throw. Also, South Africa has won 3 gold medals, one in the women's 400 meter race, the men's long jump, as well as the men's road time trial. And Algeria has won gold in the women's 52 kg judo sport. Kudos to all these athletes. We're so proud of you. Thank you so much for making us proud. And I think it's important for us to keep in mind that all these Paralympic athletes have inspirational stories in the sense that they did not let any physical limitations stop them from being their best, from pursuing their dreams, and from making their countries proud. And one of them, ladies and gentlemen, is 32-year-old Asiya Mohammed of Kenya. She's a Paralympian competing in this year's game as a rower. Not only is that impressive in its own, but Asiya overcame a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges to become the first female rower to represent the country of Kenya in an Olympic game or a Paralympic game. Kudos to her. Asiya was 2 years old when she lost both legs as well as several fingers in a tragic train accident. And of course, it affected her self-esteem, her outlook on life. She was really down, but she not only accepted her new look, she decided it would not stop her from living her best life.
I really haven't accepted myself. I was having serious issues with my disability. But when I was 16, I'm like, it's the half woman. What can I say?
You guys will not believe this, but her way out of self-pity and feeling down was exercise.
Sport has played a huge role in my life. It has given me the opportunity to explore myself to my full potential. I think I'm now the best version of myself because of sports.
Now, to be honest with you guys, exercise has a lot of benefits, and I think that as Africans in general, that we don't explore that enough, especially those that are doing white-collar jobs in Africa. Many people, when they go to work, they just sit all day at their desk, and then they drive home, they drive everywhere, they are not really exercising. We still romance the idea of grown men having pot belly. Like, what's that? What's that? We don't even talk about the side effect on their health, and we don't encourage women to exercise. We tell them, oh, you're trying to look like a man. You know, I still remember when Kate Henshaw started posting videos of her exercising and working out on Instagram. Some of the comments were awful. People were like, oh, you're trying to look like a man. Why are you trying to become a man? Things like that. And then recently, when she celebrated her 50th birthday, put up her photo. You see what I'm saying? Look at a 50-year-old woman. People were like, oh, what's the secret? But that's a topic for another day. Even if all you do is walk for 1 hour every single day, your mood will improve. You will have a boost of energy. You will sleep better at night. Weight loss is not even the only benefit of exercising. That's just a bonus. But the health benefit of exercising is endless. And now back to our story. And so that became Asiya's escape route, exercising. In fact, she got so good at it that she was now winning medals from different sports in Kenya.
Born and raised in Mombasa, Asiya Mohammed is one of Kenya's most decorated para-athletes. From wheelchair racing to marathons, badminton to tennis, you name it, she's done it and probably has a medal to show for it too.
Wow! And then at the age of 17, she participated in a wheelchair marathon. This grew into a love of sports, including tennis. She then took up rowing at the age of 29, and then she went through so many obstacles, including raising money on her own in order to pay her plane ticket for the qualifiers in Tunisia.
We received an email from the Rowing International Federation that we have to attend the qualifiers in Tunisia. The federation here in Kenya told me that they've tried to ask the ministry to fund the trip, but weren't successful. So I asked for contributions from family and friends to fund my own air ticket.
Wow. Well, 3 years after she started rowing, just 3 years, she is now representing her country, Kenya, at the Paralympics in Tokyo.
In October 2019, Asiya Mohammed Sururu made history by becoming the first female para-rower from Kenya to qualify for the Paralympic Games after winning in Tunis qualifiers. to earn her ticket to the Tokyo Games.
Just look at that. She went from feeling sorry for herself because of what had happened to her to representing her country of 52 million people as the first female rower at the Olympics. Whether she wins gold or not is not even the issue. She has inspired millions of people that no matter what your circumstance is in life, the limitation is always in your mind. You should never let it get you down. If she could pick herself up and become an Olympian, what's your excuse? What is it that you are facing today? Just to put it in layman's terms, if you think you're having a bad day, just look at Asiya. She lost both legs. She lost several fingers, but today she's making her country proud. So I love the way she put it in one of the things that she said. She said, if in your mind you think that you are disabled, then you are. And if in your mind you think that you are able, then you can do anything. It's all about how you perceive yourself. I'm like, wow, thank you so much, my sister. Thank you for making us proud. You guys not know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been way too long since we talked about Cameroon, especially about my father in Cameroon, that is Paul Biya, the 88-year-old president who has been in power for more than 40 years. So much is happening in Cameroon. But first of all, Cameroonians, you guys, move closer. You shock me. He shocked me. I know that your president is never home. The man spends like 6 months in Europe every single year. But I thought we already moved past this kind of fanfare in Africa. I mean, the man was vacationing in Europe. They don't even tell us why he's traveling anymore. The last time they said he was going for a private trip to Europe. But then when he returned, it wasn't just government officials that were receiving him at the airport, you know, like they do in Nigeria, and we are still crucifying them about that. But to see the amount of people that lined the streets, some people were wearing clothes with his picture on it. I'm like, what? Simply because he came back from Europe? The devil is a liar. And then they had dancers on the streets. I even saw a clown. And there was a crowd of people waving at him all the way from the airport to the Unity Palace. I believe that's the presidential palace. I'm like, seriously? What's that? What's that? What's this fanfare? Because your president returned from vacation.
Les retrouvailles ont ceci de particulier qu'elles charrient toujours une bonne dose d'émotion, de chaleur et d'allégresse. Il ne pouvait donc en être autrement. Ce lundi 16 août 2021...
Do you think they paid these people? No, seriously. Maybe they rented that crowd because it doesn't make sense. Anyway, I thought we would talk about that real quick. But now let's go to the main issue. Insecurity, ethnic clash, as well as killings by the military continue to be on the rise in Cameroon. On the 27th of August, just last week, 32 people were killed during an ethnic clash between the Arab Shoa as well as the Muslims.
At the center of the quarrel were hectares of land. The Arab Shoa community, a nomadic people, is claiming for land to graze their animals. On the other hand, the Muslims have eyes on the same space for agricultural purposes.
You know, I was really shocked. Apparently, this has a lot to do with cattle rearing as well. People trying to forcefully take lands from other people in order to raise their cows. I'm like, how does this make sense? This is hitting really, really close to home. For how long would this go on in Africa, or let me say in West Africa? The Cameroonian government gave families of the deceased, they gave them 500,000 French CFA, which is about $896, as well as food items. I mean, that's commendable, but just because of this incidents, 11,000 Cameroonians have now fled into neighboring Chad.
What started as a disagreement between a fisherman and a herder quickly escalated into large-scale violence, killing a dozen people and forcing at least 10,000 to flee into neighboring Chad.
You know, I really hope that this doesn't continue to escalate. I mean, we've already seen what clashes like this can lead to as we continue to fight each other over land and cattle rearing. As it is right now, we have refugees in so many West African countries, in Cameroon, in Nigeria, in Niger, in Chad. In fact, over 300,000 Nigerian refugees have been repatriated from Cameroon right now, from Cameroon, from Chad, and from Niger back to Nigeria. 186,000 from Niger, 118,000 from Cameroon, and 16,000 from Chad, according to Sadia Umar Farouk, that is the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. You know, it's ironic that Cameroon has Nigerian refugees, Nigeria has Cameroonian refugees, Chad has Cameroonian refugees, Cameroon also has Chadian refugees. We really need to work on peace in West Africa because the whole region is becoming destabilized. And this is even different from the Amazonian movement in southern Cameroon as they continue to seek to secede from Cameroon. You know, I've done several reports about that. There are several reports of Cameroonian military still attacking the Anglophone region of the country, still attacking the Ambazonians and killing people. Until now, the government of Cameroon has remained silent about this issue. Oh, by the way, there has been reports that the Ambazonians in southern Cameroon and the IPOB members in Nigeria have formed an alliance, exchanging weapons, trying to help each other to secede. I don't think that report is true, even though it's everywhere. I don't think it's true because the president of the Ambazonians came out and said that they are not affiliated with IPOB in any way. Of course, that statement did not go well with a lot of people, inciting comments like, we don't need you anyways, you are too small anyways, things like that. I just want to say that there's no reason to disagree with one another or become frenemies, you know. We have more in common than our differences. There's no reason to be upset with each other. But more importantly, the reason that people are agitating to secede or agitating for freedom, either in Cameroon or Nigeria, is because our leaders have failed us again and again. So let me know what you guys think, first of all, about this unrest in the West African region, in Nigeria, in Chad, in Cameroon, as well as Niger, as well as the fanfare that was thrown for Paul Biya because he went to Europe and came back. It's just, I think it's ridiculous. You guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to South Sudan, ladies and gentlemen, it's been way too long since we talked about South Sudan. First of all, thousands of homes have been damaged after torrential rainfall caused heavy flooding. Many streets in the capital, that is Khartoum, are now deep in water, and about 380,000 people were affected by the floods. Wow. Similar thing happened last year in South Sudan, and the people are yet to recover from that. In fact, some people that were displaced that time, they are still displaced till now. And then guess what? Another one happens. Meanwhile, as the people are dealing with the effect of the floods, the internet is shut down in South Sudan. All because of a series of protests going on against the president, that is President Salva Kiir's government. People are accusing his government of corruption, as well as failing to protect the population, as well as failing to provide basic services. So the president shut down the internet. And I'm like, He shut down the internet on Monday and he sent out security forces to patrol the streets and control the protesters. The government has allegedly denied all the allegations levied against him by the protesters. He's calling the protesters people who wish us ill. Wow. Just imagine that. So, I mean, we were all happy for the people of South Sudan when they seceded and became an independent country. But since then, it's been one conflict after the other. By the way, it would be great to hear from the people of South Sudan. Are you happy that you got your independence from Sudan? What is the situation like? Because, like I said, we were all celebrating with you just some years ago when you became a nation. But now to see the unrest and the conflict and corruption with the new government is like, so what is the solution if seceding is not the solution? So let's hear from you guys. You guys not know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So, our shout-out of today is actually an ad, but an inspirational ad, if that makes sense to you. Like, I'm really inspired by this man's story, even though he's paying us to talk about the ad. But before we get to the ad, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Mr. Abiodun Akinyemi, a man who is looking to solve the big chunk of the housing crisis that we have in Nigeria by making affordable, self-sufficient homes. This kind of homes are becoming more and more popular, by the way, because they are efficient and they are environmentally friendly, and then it costs less to make them if you think about it in the long run. Anyway, before I tell you about the smart homes that he's building, let me tell you a little bit about his story. He's based in Canada right now, and he decided to build a house in Lagos, Nigeria, where he's from. But upon making inquiries, the cost of building a house has increased significantly since he moved to Canada. So instead of using concrete brick throughout his construction, he substituted it with laterite, and he was able to save 30% of the construction cost. Laterite has a lot of advantages, by the way, including warming your home during the cold weather, cooling your home in the hot season. It's cheaper because it's readily available. It's everywhere in Nigeria. It has high clay content, which means it can hold more water. Laterite gives you better air quality. So if you build your house with laterite, you can breathe in better air quality. You can even recycle it. So if you build a house with laterite and you don't like it, you can break down the house and use the brick to build another house. And that's just to name a few of the advantages. But he didn't stop at building his personal house. He decided to make his house self-sufficient, off-grid, which means that he's not going to be dependent on the electricity from the Nigerian Nigerian government, so he's using solar power, and he's also not going to be using power generator, so there will be no noise, no air pollution. At the same time, he's not using the regular sockaway that everybody uses in Nigeria. He's disposing his own waste material by decomposing it, and he's generating his own water. So once the house is completed, he doesn't need anything from them. And this is why they call this home self-sufficient, off-grid homes. That alone inspires me. The fact that he was able to find an alternative to just spending so much money on building a house. And the fact that he doesn't have to depend on the government, he made himself a self-sufficient house. That is the inspiration for me. But then he took it a step further. So after learning from his own experience, he wants to do the same for others, except that he wants to do it better. If you see the picture of the house, you may not be too impressed by the aesthetic, but he calls this the experimental house because what he has decided to do is to now mass produce this kind of house for other people. In case anybody out there is interested in having a house that will be self-sufficient, he has bought acres of land in Lakwe beachfront in order to construct an off-grid estate. And what you guys are seeing is what he would be constructing. All these houses would not be using NEPA, and they will be constructed with laterite bricks. If anyone is interested, he's looking for 10 people, just 10 people to start out. The price starts at 34 million naira for 3 bedrooms, and you can pay in installment. He has a contract readily available, readily prepared, which you can share with your lawyer to know if that's a good deal or not. I mean, some people may feel like that's a lot of money, but it's a one-time payment that you no longer have to worry about electricity bill. You no longer have to worry about paying them to empty your sock away and stuff like that. It's a one-time payment that you know that from beginning to end, you know your house is complete and self-sufficient. Anyway, I asked him, by the way, I said, what if someone is interested right now and they decided to pay you, and along the way they decided they're no longer interested, they don't like what they are seeing? And he said to me that your money is refundable, as stated in the contract. He said he will give you back 95% of the money, and the remaining 5% is for administrative charges. He's using a system of interlocking bricks instead of the traditional style of construction. And this system results in a house that is 10 times stronger than traditionally built house, and also more terminally efficient. Each home would have its own fire system and will be conveniently located by a fire hydrant in order to make it easier for fire crews to help just in case of an emergency. We'll be building common areas that will have a gym, a playground, swimming pool, ball courts, grocery stores, and so on and so forth. And more importantly, the houses in his estate will reduce global warming and human carbon footprint. So guys, if you're interested, please check him out. This is his website. Also, you can contact him directly. Like I said, we are paid to advertise this project. So if you have any questions, please go on his website first to see if the answers to your question are already listed on his website. Once again, we're very proud of him for coming up with this idea. Also, we're super proud of the fact that he's not trying to enjoy it alone. He wants other people to enjoy it as well. So like I said, please contact him if you're interested. And he's looking for only 10 people. First come, first serve. And he actually told me this, that in the next 6 months, the 10 people that sign up, their homes would have appreciated. And so they can even sign up and turn around and sell it in 6 months' time, that they would make profit. So let him know in case you're interested. You guys not don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're here to subscribe to my channel, exactly what are you waiting for? We are watching you on Plasma TV. Press the subscribe button. I don't know, exactly what are you waiting for? Press it right there, right there. Just, it's somewhere here. Until next time, I'm gonna see you all later. Peace out.